You may be thinking why I didn't finish the whole game before making this video. Well, the reason is because 10 hours after I started, I ran into a game-breaking bug that as of this moment does not have any fixes that I can find online, and the only solution is to start over. I'm sure you can imagine how satisfying that is if you paid €15 to access the game earlier, and this is €15 I can't even get refunded. So anyway, what is Anthem about? After 10 hours dedicated to just going through the main story, I'm sad to say it, but it's very much a Andromeda 2.0. So imagine you're playing Mass Effect Andromeda, but instead of Sam, you have a guy called Owen in your head, and instead of him calling you Pathfinder, he calls you Freelancer. Add better facial animations, but remove the companion characters and most of the dialogue choices, and you get Anthem. I mean, if you haven't played it, you wouldn't believe how similar the delivery of the story is to Mass Effect Andromeda. The bulk of it is just you going out in the world with Sam or Owen telling you where to go, what to do, who to kill, what to loot, what the thing that you just looted means, and just everything. That is how the bulk of the story happens in the game. There are some cutscenes. In the 10 hours that I've played, there was not a single choice in any of the cutscenes that I saw, and not one time did I see the face or the body of my character. By the way, there is character creation, but you cannot actually customize your character, just pick one of several preset faces. Quite a few preset faces actually. It also doesn't help that the voice actor is the exact same guy from Mass Effect Andromeda. Same guy who voices male Ryder also voices the male Freelancer. Probably even worse so than Andromeda, there is so much filler into the story. The game is basically forcing you to do what would normally be side quests in order to continue the main story. It is also forcing you to do what would normally be achievements, maybe even multiplayer achievements. Actually, out of the 10 hours that I played, probably the last 2 were spent trying to complete a set of challenges before I can progress to the next mission. And these challenges included things like kill a bunch of enemies with your ultimate, kill a bunch of enemies with your melee attack, complete a bunch of multiplayer missions, resurrect a bunch of dead freelancers, actual players, kill a bunch of rare enemies, loot a bunch of rare chests, and so on. Now, these are not bad things, I would say, but are they really the things that should be required to progress through the main story? I don't think so. And it wouldn't bother me so much if the story was actually really good. I would probably look forward to it. But unfortunately, I don't really find any of it interesting. I don't find my own character interesting, the villain. The events that happen all around us look like magic. Basically, it seems like anything can happen, and half the time I can't understand what people are talking about. It's also worth mentioning that the game cannot really be completed entirely in single player. Like I said, you have to do these challenges, and some of them force you to go into multiplayer. And even those missions that you can't complete alone, when you attempt to do them alone, a message appears telling you that the game was designed to be experienced in a party, so you should probably join a party. So I tried it, I actually joined a party, and I can't really say that that's the better experience. If you complete an objective and you want to take your time to listen to what they're actually talking to you, or like walk around, look around, to maybe kill some more enemies or loot something, as soon as your party moves on and goes towards the next objective, you get a message on your screen, a pop-up that says that you're falling behind, and in several seconds you'll be teleported to the rest of your party. So there's this constant feeling that everyone's rushing, that you have to get this done as soon as possible and move on to the next. And this is something I do not want from my story-driven experiences. And speaking of objectives, you wouldn't believe how linear this game feels, despite the fact that it's an open world, despite of the advertising that you're meant to explore and roam free and whatnot. The quest tracking is linear as hell, and I hate it. Instead of showing you where you have to go on the map and letting you reach that place however you wish, it literally shows you intermediate points of the road between you and the location you have to go to, and tells you to go to each point. So let's say you complete objective A and now you have to go to objective B. Instead of saying, hey, objective B is in that general direction, it tells you, okay, now go between those trees, fly on top of that waterfall, then go down this ravine, and it just leads you by the nose until the next objective. Another thing on the same topic, there is also this radar mechanic in the top middle of your screen. This is a little bit of a speculation, I'm not entirely sure if it works this way, but there is something wrong with it, and I think I figured out what. This radar, by the way, activates when you have to explore a smaller area and you don't have to travel a large distance, and it blinks in the direction which you have to go to find the item, right? Simple enough. However, once again, I don't think it actually points you in the general direction of the item. Instead, let's say you are on point A and suddenly the radar pops up to show you that you have to go to point B. I think there is some kind of an invisible path that is drawn out on the terrain, like an invisible thread connecting the two locations, and if you move, let's say, over here, the radar would not point you to this direction, towards point B, but it will actually point you back towards the invisible thread, and once you step on it, it will start leading you alongside it. I might be wrong, but I think this might be what's happening, because this radar is going crazy sometimes. But this game is not about the story, you would say, it's about the gameplay, right? Well, let's look at the gameplay. The last 2 hours out of the 10 I played, I spent in free play trying to do all the achievements, and I gotta say, it's boring. I don't think there's anything engaging about the free play. You just fly around until Sam says, oh hey, there's a thing over there, you have to go and investigate. You go there and there's an item you have to loot, and before you loot it you have to kill a bunch of waves of enemies. Or there's a thing that needs repairing and you have to collect all the parts and bring it to the thing, and there would be 15 parts, and every time you collect 3 of them, a wave of enemies would spawn, and so on and so forth. So from what I've seen so far, the free play, the open world gameplay elements have nothing innovative and nothing terribly interesting to them. And I think that's all I have to say. If you really enjoy the gameplay and the combat, and you enjoy doing mindless objectives for the sake of the fun you get out of this game, yeah, maybe this game is for you. But otherwise, this is basically Mass Effect Andromeda 2.0 with better facial animations, less choices, equally poorly delivered story, equally uninteresting main character, and just equally worth playing in my opinion. So that was it. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned and be good. And maybe, just maybe, think twice before buying Anthem.